Hello students, I Pallav Darbari welcome you all in my YouTube channel Pallav Darbari Classes. In this video I will discuss Macroeconomics class 12th. The name of the chapter that we will discuss today is Government Budget. This is my first video on the topic Government Budget. In this video we will discuss the meaning of the government budget and I will also discuss with you the objectives of government budget. So without wasting the time period, let us start the class. Now I have opened up the screen. Now let us see and discuss the meaning of the government budget. Always remember, government budget is the financial statement showing the item wise expected receipt and payment during a particular fiscal year. So what is government budget? Government budget is a financial statement showing the expected receipt and the payment during a particular year. So through the government budget, we will predict how much money the government will raise and where the government will spend the collected money during a fiscal year. Government budget also presents the government's report on the financial performance during a previous year. So it also shows or it also tells the government's performance, financial performance during a previous year. Through the government budget, one will also come to know where the government spent the money and from which sources the government got the money to carry out the developmental activities. So through the government budget, we will come to know the expected receipt and the payment during a fiscal year, and we will also come to know the financial performance during the previous year. Government budget is also called the federal budget. The question is why the government budget is also called the federal budget? Because it shows the government's estimated revenue and spending of each fiscal year. Since the government budget is showing the estimated revenue and the spending of the fiscal year, so it is called the federal budget. It can be asked in 1 marks. It can be asked why the government budget is called the federal budget. So we should know the government budget is called the federal budget. Why? Because the government budget shows the estimated revenue and the estimated spending of each fiscal year. The government budget has the economic base, it has the political base, and also it has the technical base. The question is how the government budget has the economic base, because through the budget the allocation of the scarce resources is going on so that the economy can grow and multiply. So every budget is having the economic base. Why? Because through the economic budget the allocation of the resources for the best economic use is going on in the country. Every government budget has the political base. Why? Because every government through the budget want to obtain the maximum benefit and want to avoid the burden. So we can say that the government budget has the economic base and the political base. It also has the technical base as well. The question is how the government budget has the technical base, because in every government budget, by the use of the statistical data, the government predict and forecast the level of the revenue and the expenditure. Since by the use of the available data, the government forecast the available resources and the expenditure, so every budget is having the technical base as well. So here we can say that every budget is having the three bases, that is economic, political and technical. So it can also be asked, name the basis which the government budget is having. So here we can say that every budget is having the economic, political and the technical basis. So this question can also be asked, when for the first time the government budget and the fiscal policy was presented in the parliament, and who presented the government budget and the fiscal policy to the parliament for the first time. So you should know Sir Robert Walpole, who was working as the chancellor of the Equerry. Always remember, Equerry is the government department that control public money. So Sir Robert Walpole, who was working at the position of the chancellor of government department for controlling public money, in the year 1720 presented the budget and the fiscal policy to the parliament for the first time, and thereafter the trend has started. With the help of the budgetary policy, every government want to enhance welfare. Every government want to do what? Every government want to enhance welfare, and every government want to increase economic growth and development. The question is why the government is making the budgetary policy. The government is every government is making the budgetary policy so that the maximum welfare can be enhanced and the economic growth and the development can be attained. So with this purpose, every government is presenting or framing the budgetary policy. The next thing is, let us see, because in the budget we have seen the revenue and the expenditures are there. So let us see what is the effect of the revenue and expenditure policy. For the better understanding, we can say that the effect of the revenue and the expenditure policy can be categorized into the following three functions. The first function is allocation function. The second is distribution function. The third one is stabilization function. So the effect of the revenue and the expenditure policies can be better understood through the following three functions. What are those three functions? Allocation functions, distribution functions, and the stabilization functions. Let us discuss all these functions one by one. Let us see what is the allocation function. Always remember, this allocation function is concerned with the distribution of resources among public sectors and the private sector. So what is this allocation function? Allocation function is concerned with the distribution of resources between the private and the public sector. We know that the public goods, can we find the public goods by the private sector? The question is, the public goods cannot be provided by the private sector. Private sector will not provide the public goods. We know that the food items should be provided to the people at the subsidized rate. You really feel that the private sector will provide the food items at the subsidized rate to the people? The answer is no. So here we can say that the public goods cannot be provided by the private sector through market mechanism. Hence, the need for providing such goods will be fulfilled by the government. Since the private sector cannot provide the public goods, so it is the responsibility of the government to provide those goods to the public sector. In addition to this, we know that the private sector cannot be afforded by all. Whatever the goods the private sectors are producing, apart with this, we have seen that the private goods cannot be purchased by all the people. Why? Because its prices are very high and only the people who can pay huge money and who is having no problem paying the high cost can only avail the goods manufactured by the private sector. So it is also the responsibility of the government to manufacture or provide the goods which the common people cannot purchase at a high cost. So through the revenue and the expenditure policies, the government provide or make the goods available to the people which the private sector cannot provide to them at a lower price. Consequently, we have seen that the government need to allocate resources and accordingly the government distribute the resources among the public sector and the private sectors so that the welfare can be attained by providing goods to the public sector and the profit maximization can also be attained by giving the goods to the private sector. When the resources is given to the private sector generate profit and that profit is being used for the infrastructure development of the country. So through the revenue and the expenditure, the government allocate the resources among the private sector and the public sector so that the balance between the welfare and the profit maximization should be attained. So I hope the allocation function is clear. Now let us discuss the distribution function. Always remember, with the economic growth, we know that as the economy grew, the distribution of the income becomes unequal, and the gap between the rich and the poor start increasing up. Or we can say that the gap between the rich and the poor start becoming widening. This poses and this hinders the path of the economic growth and the social justice. And the government has to take the actions through the budgetary policies so that the path which is hindered by the economic growth should be rectified, and the economy should grow at a much more faster rate. Therefore, in order to enhance the welfare of all the sections of the society, the government performs the distribution functions. The question is, government perform the distribution, what it means? It means that government distribute the income and the wealth in such a way that there should be the equal distribution of income and wealth. How the government carried out the distribution functions? The government carried out the distribution functions through the taxation and the subsidiary policy. Through the taxation and the expenditure policy. Expenditure policy means subsidiary policy. On one hand, the government imposes huge taxes on the richer people so that the condition of the rich people should come to the common platform, and by providing subsidies or the financial help to the poor or the weaker section so that their position should be strengthened, so that finally the gap between the rich and poor should be diminished. So here we have seen how through the revenue and the expenditure the distribution function is going on, and how the economy can grow and multiply at a faster rate. Always remember, the country can only grow and develop when the gap between the rich and poor should be minimum. And through the income and expenditure policy and through the distribution functions, the government carried out or removed the differences between the rich and poor. Now let us see another functions. The another function is stabilization function. When I say stabilization, what it means? It means that the fluctuations should be minimum. When I say the fluctuations in the minimum, what it means? It means that the fluctuation in the prices should be minimum. Economy with a minimum government intervention is subject to inflation. We have often seen and we have seen that the economy where the government intervention is minimum, that very economy is being affected by the inflation. That very economy is facing the problem of depression, recession, and the political instability. So through the budget, the government cut down the effect of the inflation, depression, recessions, and the policy instability. Through the stabilization function, the government aims at providing the cushion to all the fluctuations. Providing cushions to all the fluctuation, what it means? It means that through the budgetary policy, the government check the problems of inflation and deflation. Through the budgetary policies, the following policies comes through which the problems of the inflation and the deflation should be checked. The first one is government expenditure. Through the government expenditure, the government check the problems of price fluctuation, that is inflation, deflation. Second is taxation policy. Through the taxation policy, the problem of inflation and deflation is also checked. Third one is open market operations. Through the open market operation, the same thing happens. The government check the problems of inflation and deflation. And finally, through the deficit financing, government check the problem of price fluctuations. So we have seen that how the price stability is going on in the country. So here we have seen how the stabilization function the government performs by the use of receipt and the expenditure. The main aim of performing the stabilization function is the economy should grow and multiply. I hope the point is clear. Now let us discuss the objectives of the government budget. The first objective or the foremost objective of the government budget is, what is the first one? The first objective is reallocation of resources. When I say reallocation of resources, we know that reallocation means redistribution of resources. Redistribution of resources among private sector and the public sector. Why? So that the balance between the welfare and profit maximization should be attained. Why we want to attain the balance? So that the economy will grow and develop. Let us see. Through the budgetary policy, the government redistributed the resources in accordance with the profit maximization and the public welfare priorities of the country. So why the government is reallocating or redistributing the resources? So that the balance between the profit maximization and the welfare should be restored. The government can influence the allocation of the resources. Through the budgetary policy, we know that the government can influence the allocation of the resources. Government can influence the private sector and the public sectors. The government can influence the welfare and the profit maximization. How the government can influence? Through the tax concession and the subsidies. By providing the tax concession and the subsidies to the public sector, government enhances welfare. Second is by directly producing the goods and services, the government do what? The government check monopoly and finally enhance welfare. The government also find out the activities where the government has to incur the expenditure so that the public interest and the welfare should be raised. So through the allocation, the government changes the market conditions. So here we have seen that through the allocation of the resources, government increases the profit maximization and the welfare, or can balance the welfare and the profit maximization. Okay? How? Through the taxation and the subsidies, through direct producing goods and services, or finding out the areas where the public interest and the social welfare should be raised. I hope the point is clear. Now let us see the second objectives of the government budget. The second objectives of the government budget is reducing inequalities of income and wealth. When I say reducing inequalities of income and wealth, what it means? We know that in our country there is a wide gap between rich and poor. And we know that the country cannot grow unless until this gap should be reduced or minimum. So through the budgetary policies, by the use of two tools, that is taxation and subsidies, government remove the inequalities of income and wealth. Let us see how. By imposing more tax on the rich, we put the condition of the rich down. We bring the conditions of the rich down, and by providing financial help to the poor, we improve their conditions or try to raise their conditions, and finally the inequalities between the income and wealth should be diminished or should be reduced. Now let us all these things in detail one by one. The government through its budgetary policy attempts to promote right distribution of income in the economy. How they are doing it? How the government does this thing? Through the taxation and the expenditure policy. Here the expenditure policy means through the subsidies. How? On one hand, through the taxation policy, the government imposes high taxes on the higher income group, and on the other hand, through the expenditure policy where the subsidies or the transfer payment comes, transfer the purchasing power in the hands of the poor people or poor section of the society, so that the gap between the rich and the poor should be reduced and the country should attain the maximum welfare and the economy should grow. I hope the point is clear. Now let us see the third objectives. The third objective is the economic stability. The question is, what is economic stability? Economic stability means the absence of price fluctuations. Absence of price fluctuation means what? It means absence of inflation and deflation. Clear? The government also aims at insulating the economy from the major price fluctuations. It means every government is committed that the price fluctuation, that is inflation, unemployment or the business cycle, should be bare minimum. Should be minimum. The government through its budgetary policy tries to combat this situation, try to solve this situation. The major concern of the government is what? Is to achieve higher economic growth, and the higher economic growth can only be attained when there is a employment stability and when there is a price stability. So every country want to do what? Every government want that the economy should grow and develop, and the economy can only grow and develop when the employment stability and the price stability is in the economy. This state of economic growth with stability ensure what? It ensure the smooth and the efficient functioning of the economy. I hope the point is clear. Now let us see and discuss the fourth objectives of the government budget. The fourth objective of the government is management of public sector. When I say public sector, it means I am talking about the public sector undertaking, PSUs. We know that there are large number of public sector undertakings. It is being said that we are having 300 plus public sector undertaking, especially those enterprises which are formed to neutralize monopoly. Why we have established the public sector? So that the monopoly of the private sector should be countered, and they are established and managed for the welfare of the people. Actually, through the public sector undertakings, government want to establish and manage social welfare of the people, because the main motive of the private sector is profit maximization and they are least bothered about the welfare. So just to counter the private sector, the government has opened up the public enterprises so that the welfare can be enhanced. So through the budget, the objective of the government is that we should manage these enterprises. How? Through the financial help, so that the welfare should not be stopped. It means that the welfare activities or the social welfare should not be interrupted. I hope the point is clear. The next objective is economic growth. What is the next objective? The next objective is economic growth. The question is, what is economic growth? It means increase in the real GDP. Am I talking about the nominal GDP? No, I am talking about the real GDP. The economy will only grow when there is increase in production. Increase in what? Increase in production of in the economy. If the government provides, we know that if the government provide tax rebate and the other incentives, what will happen? The productive ventures and the project will increase in the country. The saving will increase. The more and more investment will come in the economy, and it will finally result in the economic growth and the development of the country. So through the budgetary policy, the government decided how much rebate it should give or how much other incentives it will give, so that the productive ventures and the projects should more and more come in the country. Clear? I hope the economic growth is clear. The next is reduces regional disparities. When I say regional disparities, what it means that every part of the country should develop at the same time. In our country, there is a wide regional disparities. It means that some part of the country is economically sound and some part of the country is not economically sound. In a simple word, we can say that some part of the country is contributing more in the production and some part of the country is not contributing anything in the production activities. The country can only grow when every part of the country should contribute equally in the production activities. So through the budgetary policies or by developing the infrastructure, the government tries to eradicate the regional disparities of the country. Clear? Dear viewers, that's all I have in this video. If you like the video, spread the video as much as you can so that more and more students should join the class. During this pandemic time period, stay home, stay safe, and above all, don't forget to wear mask. Om Shanti.